I would much rather buy Chainlink's native token called Link over Bitcoin. And the answer is very simple, even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee. But the reason why is because, simply put, I just think that Link has a lot more room to grow at this point. I mean, you got to think about this. If Link were to go to the price of $200, considering current circulating supply, a market cap at that point would be around $125 billion. Now, that's around a 15x from here. If, let's say, Bitcoin were to do a 15x, that would be, at that point, right, market cap, considering current circulating supply, around $19.5 trillion, and the price of Bitcoin would be nearly $1 million. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I think Bitcoin is amazing for what it is. And also on top of that, it has amazing institutional adoption. Enterprise adoption is through the roof. Also, the Bitcoin ETF is fantastic. But do I think Bitcoin can go to like the price of $1 million during this bull run? No. In the long term, yes. But in the short term, I don't think so. During this bull run, 150,000, hypothetically, I think is very realistic. But like $1 million, I just don't think so. At this bull run, right, at this time, I don't think Bitcoin can do over a 15x. Let's say, I'm in the world of cryptocurrencies to get hypothetical gains. I'm not looking to get into like Bitcoin or Ethereum, especially right now, because why would I do that? A lot of these influencers out there, they have like millions of dollars. So if they put something, like 2-3 million in Bitcoin, there's like 2-3x, they're all good at that point. They're going to Sizzler. But if someone has like way less than that, is it really like realistic? I don't really know about that. Now, not financial advice, but even if I was given like $10 million, I wouldn't put any into Bitcoin or let alone Ethereum. Why would I do that? That's just not my style. I believe that an altcoin, much like Link, I just think is a lot better for me. Now, even if fundamentally speaking, right, if you take a look at Bitcoin in terms of its use case, I'm not talking about enterprise adoption. I'm not talking about, its recognition. I'm not saying that. It's kind of limited in a sense because if you think about it, it's primarily just a store of value. But if you take a look at something like Chainlink, as a project, it's so diverse because, first of all, what is it really known for, right? It's primarily known for its decentralized Oracle network. Now, you may be thinking, okay, this is kind of caca, man. What are you on about? But this is actually very special because, decentralized applications out there, generally speaking, they wouldn't be able to function properly without off-chain data. And this is where something like an Oracle does step in because in this case, what an Oracle is that it's basically a data feed that brings data from off the chain, aka off-chain data, and brings that data over into the blockchain. And again, this is super necessary, hashtag Jorge Masvidal, if you know, again, this off-chain data, for a lot of these decentralized applications to function properly. So man, when it comes to Chainlink, it does serve a very amazing purpose. Also on top of that, let's not forget, even though there's thousands of decentralized applications right now, there's more that's going to pop up in the future. It's only natural, right? As, the crypto space overall grows, as blockchain technology develops and also prospers, it's only natural that more and more decentralized applications are going to appear. So could you imagine how amazing Chainlink is as of right now and moving forward? I think the future could look so bright. Now, granted, though, Chainlink isn't just some one-trick pony because it has other use cases as well. For instance, it has proof of reserve services. And this right here can be especially useful for, let's say, a cryptocurrency exchange or, a stablecoin issuer. If they want to showcase the amount of assets that they're actually holding, they can use this service. Also, on top of that, there's something called VRF, which stands for Verifiable Random Function. This is used for random number generation. So if you think about it, like, for instance, what could use random number generation? Like, let's say a video game. That right there could use random number generation. So when it comes to, something like Chainlink, that's amazing. Also, let's not forget, there's something called Keepers, which allows developers to automate certain smart contract tasks and functions that involve off-chain data. So if you take a look at Chainlink, it's not just some random caca project. No, man. There's a reason why a lot of people, much like me, are bullish on it. It's because use case is absolutely amazing, at least in my opinion, not financial advice. But let's not forget, right? When it comes to Chainlink, as of right now, global enterprises such as Google Cloud, Swift, I'm not talking about Taylor Swift, after all, I'm talking about, actual Swift, like in banking. But besides that point, T-Systems, Amazon Web Services, we all know that, right? We take a look at Swisscom and even Associated Press as well. They're currently leveraging Chainlink, which is insane. I mean, these are giants right here, man. Some people out there like to think that, oh yeah, only retail people like Chainlink, it's caca. Well, no, man. I mean, these are real deal giants right here. Do you think they're going to want to leverage something that's like trash or, doo-doo? They're not going to do that. Of course, they're going to choose something amazing. And that's exactly what I think Chainlink is. But of course, it doesn't end there because there's currently over 1,800 projects using Chainlink. I mean, caralho, porra, that's insane. But of course, there's also something else that's insane because you take a look at Chainlink, it has been able to enable over $10 trillion worth of transactions. That's absolutely jaw-dropping. I mean, $10 trillion. Now, I'm going to use an apples to oranges comparison here to just showcase the scale of this figure. You take a look at the GDP of Canada back in 2022. That was around $2 trillion. So this over 10 trillion, could you imagine that? Now, again, it's not directly comparable because one's GDP and one, again, is enabling value. But I think this just, again, puts into perspective the scale of this number. But even besides that, we take a look at with all that taken into consideration, Link, can't, let's say, go to the price of, $200 during this bull run? No, I think that's very realistic, hypothetically speaking. Now, I'm going to harp back to this example again. If Link were to go to the price of $200, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $125 billion. Now, again, I did mention that earlier in the video, but I don't think this is crazy because, for instance, we've seen Ethereum reach over $550 billion in market cap. So this isn't some sort of like uncharted territory, and especially when you consider just how much more dynamic Chainlink is. I think this is easy peasy. Also on top of that, we've seen like BNB reach over $100 billion in market cap, back in 2021. And I don't think BNB is this dynamic. Even just last year, according to Crypto.com research, slightly over 2% of the crypto hacks that happened actually occurred on the BNB smart chain ecosystem. That's not that impressive, man. I mean, the crypto space overall is massive. That's unacceptable. So if BNB can reach like over $100 billion in market cap, Link can't do the same, hypothetically. I just don't see why not. And also, even though I'm not a fan of acquiring Bitcoin, personally speaking, I do believe that the Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors and enterprise adoption, that's going to benefit not only just Bitcoin during this bull run, but I think altcoins in general, much like Link. And of course, as Bitcoin goes to like 100,000, 150,000, I think altcoins, much like Link, they're going to go along with the ride. Now, also take this into consideration, right? Because when it comes to Bitcoin, more specifically, I think that it really does, showcase how altcoins are just a much better pick for me. Because usually when Bitcoin does pump, typically altcoins, they do pump up by a lot more. But on the flip side, when Bitcoin does dump, consequently, usually, altcoins, they do dump a lot harder. But that's the risk I'm willing to take, because if I'm only given one chance to actually just put all my eggs into one basket, either Link or Bitcoin, hands down it's Link. It's just a no-brainer pick for me. I mean, it just can hypothetically have more room to grow at this point. I'm just a bigger fan of the use case. I think it's more diverse. And also on top of that, I just think it's a very revolutionary project with a strong use case. So it's a no-brainer pick for me. And again, you take into consideration how, as of right now, there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. That's more than ever before in history, which is insane. Also on top of that, you take a look at how back in 2021, even despite the bull run that year being that amazing, at that time, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. So could you imagine all the FOMO we saw back then, right? All the buying pressure, but then amplified in a much more impressive way this time around, because after all, there's pretty much double the amount of crypto owners. I think this time around, the bull run could be so fantastic. I think it could be so dynamic, and I don't want to waste it on just only Bitcoin. I would much rather choose something like Link, because I just think that, again, I'm just more a fan of its room for growth. I like Chainlink as a project. And I think when the bull run could be this amazing, I don't want to waste it on Bitcoin. And not to mention, it's not like we have to wait that much longer, because typically altcoins, they peak anywhere between 6 to 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event, and the Bitcoin halving event did happen back in April. So theoretically, that's best case like October this year, which I don't think is going to happen though, but you never know. But worst case is actually October next year. Again, 18 months, right? Based off of history. So that's around a year from right now. Granted, it could happen like anywhere in between or like sooner, you never know, right? But even despite that, I'm prepared for all scenarios, because I've been dollar cost averaging this whole time. I've been believing in Chainlink. Every time I earn income, I'm acquiring Link, holding and just waiting. So if the price does pump, theoretically, I'm not going to miss out on it. But if it does dump, at least for the short term, I can still acquire some more because I never went all in. Again, I'm just accumulating over an extended period of time. And I think that hopefully, Chainlink does showcase what it's capable of. And Link, again, at the price of $200, Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think this bull run could be that amazing. And I think that Chainlink is that fantastic of a project. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.